I suppose when we break the tree line, Jaddir would probably stretch and let out like a comfortable sigh. Like even though the surroundings look awful, he'd just be like, "Oh, we're finally out of the woods." Jarold, do you know anything about the surrounding region?
Well,
What have you not told me?
well, I know one thing, and that is that we are very much not in, looks around himself, the forest. And he kind of like, well, you can't really expect much. I've never been here myself.
Thank you.
Also, I did not expect you to be that rough when you woke up. And I was kind enough
You
to
didn't.
carry you the entire way. Well, half the way.
What did you do the other half? Was I dragged?
Um, well, he kind of points at himself. I'm
Don't
not
tell
the
me. Don't tell
strongest.
me.
Well,
I don't want to know.
let's just say horses, well, oxes are very good substitutes, and the farmer was not that happy.
I think Jaddir would be just giving you this deadpan, 1,000-yard stare. Right.
But anyways, we are getting close, and soon both our problems will be solved. And, well, isn't that precisely what we wanted?
You're an optimistic man. You quite like that.
Ah, yes. Anyways, other than the area looking extremely gloomy, and I think I saw like 3 corpses on the way, I think that this is certainly a good day. And I would love it if this more story. Just starts raining like, well,
Yeah. This is a wonderful day. It just starts pouring rain. Real Scooby-Doo moment.
The tiefling just stares at him like, you have to say it.
That's perfect. So yeah, and it's now raining.
The 1,000-yard stare does not.
And it just
Right.
looks, I guess I pissed off a god or something.
I think at this point, Jaddir would not give him the opportunity to continue and possibly say things that would make the situation worse.
Well, it couldn't possibly get me to just go, shush!
No,
It is at this moment.
please.
Oh my lord.
Shall we get on then?
Well, certainly. Also, I think you're stepping in a dead bird. Quote, in, and I really mean in.
In.
Yes.
How?
Well, it's rotting, and he kind of points at the ground. Also, I think I stepped in a dead pig just a moment ago.
It's a lot of dead animals, Jarold. I just casually stepped in a dead pig. Oops.
What,
I
do,
thought
do
it
you
was
need a moment?
Well, yes, I would, and very much a brush or something, because I think I still have half the pig on my boot.
I'm just thinking of like old school like PewDiePie amnesia, and he's holding the pig. He's like, "Whoa!"
Of course, he's very much exaggerating. It's just like, for him, it's covered in corpses. But for
I
others,
think-
it's just like, huh.
It's, in reality, there's just like some strangely colored mud.
Yeah.
There's like mud everywhere. It's only getting worse. Like, do you need to wipe it off? I mean,
Well,
the road is probably gonna get even worse.
he kind of lifts his foot up. If you're offering, I would like you to wipe it off.
Just charitably, I'll take out a handkerchief and well, I'll do it. I'll wipe it off. and then hand Jarold the handkerchief.
And he's like, oh, you didn't know. Well, I guess
You have received strangely colored handkerchief with mud on it.
He's like, he kind of like shakes it away from himself. He's like, oh, gracious. And he kind of puts it away. And it's like, well, anyways, we are certainly getting close. I would love to get out of this disgusting hellscape of land. God, I miss the forest.
You're like right outside the forest.
If I did, why did the old man have to pick this place out of every single place?
Look, there's very much nothing to do in forests. I think there's only so much traveling left to do, and we'll be on our way to better things soon.
Certainly. By the way, quick question. Didn't really think where we would be staying, so might actually be a good moment to think about that while we are walking
No, I disagree entirely. I think no plan, best plan. We'll see where the road takes.
Sleeping with the homeless people, definitely.
Well, I would prefer something better. Typically, the road takes me to better places. But it's all part of the adventure.
True, that is very true. Have I told you about that time when I did sleep with a homeless person?
No, do tell.
Well,
But on the road.
Well, so
He
like
continues to stand in the rain, not moving at all.
I like to imagine they're walking as they're talking.
You guys are currently walking up these hills
Yeah.
All right.
in the rain.
Here I thought you would still be standing with like 1 foot in the air.
You sound like an upward split.
I must say, the drift is very overbearing. But yeah.
All right, so you guys are.
Does he actually want?
I mean, you can get into it, but you know we're walking up the hill right now.
Yeah. Do you want the last thing to be the story about the homeless man?
Go for it.
I'm imagining that.
You guys are walking up the hill.
All right. So this hill is dreadfully steep. Anyways,
It is.
So as I was saying, this old man that I found on the alleyway. Well, turns out, well, that he was some sort of a thief, but he didn't steal from me. Interestingly, what he happened to do was, as I woke up in, well, I'll put it bluntly, I woke up as the little spoon, and I didn't really appreciate it. He did pay me, though, which scares me. I think he might either be drunk or I do not want to continue this thought, actually.
Well, I suppose we all have our needs. How much did he pay you? Out of curiosity.
10 gold. And it just a moment of silence. Look, I'll tell you right now, nothing happened. We just cuddled.
Jaddir's not even thinking about that. This homeless man paid you 10 gold.
Yeah, that's why I said I think it was a thief or something. But
It's just like incredulous. The gears are turning.
Yeah. So you guys are kind of having this awkward and strange conversation, and it all kind of comes to a halt suddenly when you crest the dark-colored hill, and your surroundings become just very clear at this point. You gotta stop for a moment to observe the sprawling landscape revealed in its entirety. Several great mountains with flattened tops break through the low-hanging clouds. Built at their base is a magnificent city. From the heightened viewpoint on top of this hill, you can see the great walls guarding its interior. A sprawling metropolis with diminutive silhouettes moving through them like ants. In the very center of the city, great golden spires reach towards the heavens, the tallest of which could be well over 500 feet. the magnificence of the metropolis spreads out from the center as if a god were to throw down a single ray of greatness upon the city that diminished the further you went out from it. There appears to be 3 rings to the entire city, with the greatest walls being on the second ring, guarding the densest region. The outskirts are by far the largest of the 3 regions and stretch for miles of village and farmland. Looking to your right, you can see a great forest, much denser than whatever light woodland you have been traveling through. Deeply enriched by fertile land before you, the wilderness stretches untamed into the distant lands to the south. To your left, as you leave the beauty of the city, you see a vast wasteland, what looks to be snow underneath the searing heat of the sun. Your dark cloud is just following your group individually. Dark clouds cover the view and obscure a large city-shaped silhouette within them. Even from such a distance, you can see great flashes of lightning within them. Beyond all of this, the Deadwell Sea glimmers with the light of the sun. This is a variance in climate you have never witnessed before. And in front of you, between the villages of the farmland and the city, lies kind of this salt land, kind of watery basin with kind of dead trees and small lakes everywhere.
Well, that is definitely not what I expected, but I guess I've seen
It's
worse.
precisely what I expected.
Really? The thunder
I've heard
clouds?
descriptions.
Thundercloud, snow, in sun,
Yeah.
and swamp.
Yes, it's very much sort of, as they say on the postcard.
Yeah. Where did you see this postcard? He's just like, I asked a couple of people, and nobody had any clue about how the place looked. If there was postcards, I would have looked for that first.
Well, I've never been here before, but I do ask people for descriptions of all the places they've been to. Everybody describes this location in different ways, but it is very colorful.
All right, we need to have a conversation about what type of people we talk to, because apparently I'm talking to the wrong type of people. How did no one know
what
that
so?
swamp snow? Swamp snow! And he just kind of... Yeah, what?
Well, no, you don't speak to swamps, Jarold. You speak to learned men and women who have traveled the lands.
No, I am just emphasizing my surprise of the swamp that is covered in snow. I don't talk, I'm not a druid. Well, I can see the confusion, but still, I'm not that unwashed.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
I was talking about a wash, I would really love to get one. And I'm...
You say it with like water dripping down your face.
And he's just like, looks at you as you're like, I'm in a problem.
In fact, Jarold, as soon as you say, I would love to have a wash, the clouds kind of dissipate and move away very quickly, and the sun is now beaming down upon you.
How do you do that? I wish to learn your magic.
And he just looks at him and goes like, I have no control of this. This is someone else doing this. Anyways, when I said wash, I meant like with a sponge or something, a coral or anything. Because I think I have like 30 bug bites all over me after the whole forest. Ugh.
Only?
Well, why do you think I wear loose clothing? To avoid the whole bug thing.
All right. In any case,
Yes.
this man of yours, what do we know about him? Where can we find him?
In one way, he described how he looked, but according to the description, it's just like any old crazy man. But he said that when we see him, we'll know it's him. I don't know if that I should be concerned about that, but
I am.
Yes, what does he mean by when you see him, you'll know it's him?
I suppose we'll know.
I guess so.
All right, I suppose if we don't have proper leads, then simply heading towards the city and walking about to get our bearings is the best step.
Certainly. Uh, talking about that, do we have any money for inns? Are we going to have to earn favors?
Well, I have money, but I'd prefer not to pay for my stay.
Very much noted. So, type for camping, or are we way past the camping point as you points at the forest?
Well, no, I was planning on settling in with the learned and well-traveled folk.
Well, all right. That's certainly something we can do.
Well, we can always pull off a number of games. Pull off the 15 merchants, the Fall Rain Finangle. I have a number of ones we could try out.
Nice. I can do flips and sing. just him being like, I can do this shady stuff and this shady stuff, and he just goes, nice. I can do flips and sing.
We'll find a way to use that.
I can do a lot of flips. Anyways,
so long as they don't change the weather, we're fine.
There's no way that could.
Nothing happens.
No, I didn't do the flip. It's like, yes, nature seems to have a comedic timing on my behalf, apparently, at my cost, but there's no way in any sort of state of a situation where a flip can change the weather.
I hope then.
Anyways, I'm assuming at this point they're like close to the thing.
Yeah, so you guys are kind of coming down the hill, and you guys kind of move forward. The walls of the city, they get closer and closer, and after, an hour or so of walking through these great farm fields, the walls of the main city are now kind of shining with a silver glint, not made of stone, but of metal. The doors are a beautiful confluence of gold and silver, artistic golden flames upon the edges of the great doors, and the head of a golden dragon split in two by the doors being slightly ajar. Two guards, clad in well-worn armor with the Cassian insignia, a blue wyvern imprinted upon their chests. You see both their shields with the same insignia kind of leaned up against the wall nearby, and they're bantering amongst themselves, taking little notice of the two of you approaching.
I kind of whisper slightly to Jaddir, do you think they're overcompensating for something? That is way too grandiose. And that's coming from me.
What do you mean, the city or the guards?
Well, both.
The city, possibly. The guards, quite likely not. I've heard terrible things of strange things in this land.
So.
I'd want my guards well prepared.
Well, yes.
And I mean, look at their armor. Doesn't look like they haven't seen action.
Yeah, or like, did you see Captain Agnes at the bathhouse last night? Oh, mama!
And as you said that, I just look at Jaddir, you're saying, I think you had too much, hope for those two. A normal guard will still remain as such. And trust me, gate guards are the worst. I used to be one once. Most boring job in the world.
You? Well, I can't see that, really.
Much younger during the time.
I can't. I'm trying the mental image. It's not working.
You just kind of look. Oh, really? Look, I can do the march. And it just kind of does it back and forth. Look, standard procedure.
You marches up to the gate.
No, I'm just marching like back and forth. And just like, anyways, about the guards. Do you think they are like expecting pay to get in?
Well, I hope not.
Well, one way to find out. Hello, how are you? Beautiful day.
State your name.
It is Jarold.
Hold on. Is that a tiefling? Are tieflings allowed in? And the other guard kind of said like, I think so.
Yes, of course we're allowed in.
Let me check. Let me check the list. And he kind of fumbles around into a bag and pulls out a large scroll. And he's like, well, no rules against it, so I guess you're all good. Oh, state your business.
Oh, well, we're trying to look for a crazy old man.
Right, so I am Jaddir Kazrain.
A.K.A. business.
Well, I've come to the city to see sights, and, well, it is a very grandiose place, and would love to spend some time and coin in the city before moving on.
Oh, well, yeah, certainly. We're also going to grab a drink. So, sightseeing, all the typical tourist thing. Also, snow swamp. Please tell me how on earth that is possible.
Snow swamp?
Yeah! The whole swamp covered in snow.
Are you referring to the salt flats?
Probably salt.
Well, yeah, but I think snow swamp is cooler. Anyways, I would love to know how that works. Do you have a pamphlet?
I don't think we would be the people to talk to about that. I just kind of grew up here, you know. I'm just a guard.
You grew up here, of course. You'd be the perfect person to talk to. Don't belittle yourself.
In the city, I don't want to go over there, man. He kind of looks over, and you can see like a flash of lightning off in the distance.
And it's like, oh, well, still, you grew up here. How is it like? You know,
Yes, do you get to see this city?
How is it like waking up every morning to lightning?
I mean, there's no lightning over here, but
well, you still hear it faintly.
And the other guy kind of leads like, "Do you hear the lightning? I've never heard the lightning." Like, I think he is referring to thunder. He's like,
yeah, thunder.
To answer your question, I quite like it. I get all the food I want at the barracks, and the king treats me very well.
Oh, that is wonderful.
All glory to King Aldemar.
Oh, could you say his name again? I need you to write that down.
Lawrence Aldemar, the greatest king in all the land, and Queen Jocelyn.
Okay, is that with 2 M's or 1 M?
Sorry, what?
Well, how do you write it? Is it with 1 M or 2 M's?
Shit.
Jarold, don't be rude.
Well, I'm just asking. I don't want to write the king's name wrong.
He's like and he kind of reaches into his bag and he pulls out. He's like, let me spell this out for you. Lawrence Aldemar. LAURENCE and Queen Jocelyn. JOCELYN. He's like, you forgot the last name. He's like, Aldemar. AUDMAR.
Jarold kind of just looks at it and goes, he writes it down so it doesn't hurt his feeling. Oh, must be like a special type of a grammar here.
No, I think Jaddir would just lean in very closely and nod as if what he's doing is perfectly the right thing to do, and I want to make sure I get a damn good look at that piece of paper.
Oh yeah, he just wrote it like what he said, but then below it wrote it how he thinks it is.
You kind of go to take.
He just wrote it because he was like, I'm gonna not hurt this guy's feelings because he's clearly not smart. And it's like, well, excellent thing. So for entry, is there anything that we need to do, or do we just get the okay from you and get in?
You seem A-okay to me, friend. We need more intelligent folks like yourself in this place.
And it's like, oh, that's wonderful. This might be actually a good place to retire at then. He's bullshitting at this point. He's like,
Well, that's kind of hasty, Jarold. Is there anywhere we need to go, or suggest some places for us to see?
He's like, well, the bathhouse is pretty nice.
How old are they? Please, I want to know, how old are they?
These guys are like 30. Like, these are kind of like basement living in their mom's house. Like.
And we're like, I just kind of look at him. Well, I do want to clean myself. And he kind of looks. Is it the type of bath? He's like thinking, like, is this the type of bathhouse I want, or is this the other type?
The other is like, it's actually a pretty nice bathhouse, but you might want to get yourself set up with a place to stay before you go flaunting your coins around like that. It's not a cheap place to get into. It's like, how much was that? How much was it to get in last night? And the guard kind of like strokes his chin, thinking very, very hard. He's like, 3 silver. It's quite an expensive bathhouse.
Oh, very expensive. Ooh, we might actually have to do sell some of our own stuff to actually get in. We have some stuff that we can part with. And it just
I'm sure we'll find a way.
Yeah, certainly. So,
All right. Before we head on in, what's the nearest tavern like? Where can we find it?
Oh, there's a ton of taverns downtown. Let me recommend my personal favorite. It's just called The Tavern, because that's how taverny it is. It is the best. Bro. And he kind of just describes the most stereotypical tavern you've ever seen. And it's just like in the middle of downtown. Apparently it's a pretty popular place.
well, that's certainly a place we would like to look at.
I think Jaddir would lean into Jarold and say, like, we absolutely will not go to that tavern.
And he like whispers like, I'm just saying that to be nice.
Good point.
And he goes like, anyways, you seem like 2 busy men. Should we just go on in and let you continue what you are doing?
Absolutely. We will stand guard while you enter.
The king would be proud of you 2.
Thank you.
Quite
He
so.
walks-
And they let you pass. You guys kind of make your way into like through these like very large doors in the wall, and you are kind of amazed. You're walking forward. There's a 10-foot wide kind of marble road that leads you directly forward into a small intersecting square with a statue of a dragonborn paladin in the center. You can see a fake mustache has been painted onto it with rather poor artistic quality as well. The architecture around you is pristine, designed by expert engineers with a budget that puts even the richest kingdoms to shame. Yet all of it looks very old, and much of the beauty has faded as the buildings have been converted into homes.
As he looks at the dragon, it's a shame that Dragonborn can't grow mustaches. That would go quite well with him. Don't you think?
Possibly. I'm struggling to visualize it at the moment.
It is a bit hard, but we have a statue for a reference.
Well, yes, but you see, it's quite poorly done. I'm
True.
quite certain I can do a better job.
Is that a bet?
I don't think that's probably the best thing for us to do. The first thing we got. I know I had the whole bit earlier about no plans and roads and adventures, but that seems dumb.
I know. I know it's dumb. That's why I said, do you want to bet?
Maybe after that drink.
He actually takes him on the bed. Goes through the night, paints the most magnificent mustache on the statue. I would so happily lose a gold coin or 2 or even 10 for that.
Really? For 10 gold.
10 gold. If for 10 gold, you go there and do the most magnificent mustache you can ever draw, 10 gold. I'll owe you 10 gold. He's actually thinking about it.
All right, it's on.
I take his hand and it's like, it better be good.
Right. Do you have ink or something?
He kind of looks through his backpack. No, that would be something you're going to have to get. Luckily, it's cheap.
It's not. I handle this kind of shit all the time. Look, it's quite expensive.
Okay, let me put it. Compared to a sword, ink is cheap.
No. It's quite expensive.
What kind of ink are you buying?
Good quality ones.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Oh, all right. Tell you what, you pay for the ink and I'll pull it off.
You know what? A deal is a deal. And we basically, instead of going for the tavern, we go like, okay, we need to buy ink.
Are you guys going in to look for ink?
Yeah,
Okay.
This is the shenanigan.
All right. So you guys kind of continue forward and walking through the streets. You go deeper into human civilization, and the city has been that had an almost visually and emotionally magical aura to it as you first enter, but that beauty quickly fades as you make your way through overcrowded streets. Street performers, peddlers, and busy people line the sides of the roads with occasional horses and carriages moving through the center. Shops, taverns, brothels, and even more dense housing fill every spare corner of this area. The alleys are littered with trash and shady figures, and it's hard to go more than a block without running into beggars harassing people for spare change. So you guys are kind of walking down the streets of downtown.
I'm sorry, but he's gonna do this. So while we're looking, I spy with my little eyes something that starts with shady. For the 27th time. You would think the guards would find these by now.
I don't think that they care.
That's a real shame. Well, honestly, at this point, I think you will pull this off magnificently with so many suspects.
Right. As he says that, I kind of want to take a really good look at one of them.
One of the shady figures?
Yeah, especially ones that are harassing us.
They're the beggars are kind of harassing people, not the shady figures.
Okay. Well, the beggars.
Yeah.
I'll take a solid look at a beggar.
You look at one of them. It's just like this super old kind of vagabond, long beard, hasn't shaved in a long time. Just filthy, tattered clothes. Spare change. Spare change. And one of them like, go back to the underground, and kind of someone like gives him a kick on his way over.
All right, I changed my mind. That guy. The one with the kicks. I want to memorize how he looks like.
Okay, so this is kind of like a very upright businessman. He has a curly mustache and kind of a top hat and a suit. He is clearly a man of wealth.
I kind of lean in as I see he's looking. I think we found our number one asshole of the crowd.
Right. All right. We'll get that. We'll return to the square, and you'll owe me 10 gold.
Certainly. So do we find like ink somewhere?
Yeah, you find a shop. You find Maggie's ink shop.
Next. Oh, that's an incredible specialization.
It's more of a writing store with papers, scrolls, inks, quills, all the calligraphy supplies, stuff like that. I need to look up the price of ink.
That is 10 gold.
Oh my god, that is
It
10
is
gold? Oh, wow.
10 gold for a 1 ounce bottle of ink. Ink is like basically gold.
You know?
I fucking told you so.
And he looks like, wow, it was only like 3 to 4 when I moved. Well, it came in tiny bottles. I only have 15. This is quite bothersome.
Alright, whatever. I'll buy it myself.
Wait, no. I said, I'll buy it, and I'll owe you 10. I'll pay you 5 up front.
Right, but then there's... Alright, whatever you want.
Yeah, I go buy 10. Yes, I am making myself poor.
All right,
How are you so poor already?
Well, think about it. I worked for the circus. Not really a grandiose job.
Yes, but you seem to be quite good at the singing and flips and shit.
Let me put it this way. I spent a lot of money getting the information about the crazy, and the fact that it cost me this much just to find out that I'll know that who he is when I see him costed me more gold than you can imagine.
Alright.
Also, and he kind of whispers this one, demonologists really sell their information high.
I'll keep that in mind.
And it's like, other than that, yeah. So I have removed 10 gold. Yes, I am committing to this.
all right, you immediately spend 66% of your entire bank on a joke. The instant you walk into the city.
The reason is I'm allowing myself to owe him money just so he can hound me with it.
All right, you now
We'll
have
also need to
one.
get some alcohol of some kind. Stiff spirits. How much would some really strong alcohol be?
How much do you want? Just like 1 ounce? Like, I don't know, just like a small
I want
amount.
the strongest possible alcohol, but as cheap as possible. Even a small amount is good.
Yeah, you could probably get like some, just pure rubbing alcohol type stuff for about like 2 gold, like just a small bottle.
2 gold. All right.
Basically, remember.
And I will purchase that. Yeah.
But
Okay.
remember, I said I'll owe him. So as soon as we get our first pay, he just gets my.
Well, you're gonna have to remember that.
Oh yeah, I already wrote it down. Oh, Jaddir, 10 gold.
What I want to do is well, I want to return to the square, but before I do so, I want to kind of duck into an alley, and I want to take out a piece of my hempen rope and just cut off like a tiny bit, and dip it in the alcohol, like really make it like a brush.
Okay.
I want to then cut another piece for a similar brush. I basically have 2 brushes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I then want to use disguise self on myself and wear the outfit and appearance of the man we saw earlier, but
Of
really
the-
disheveled, as if he's
Oh,
incredibly drunk.
the suit guy.
The wealthy asshole we saw earlier.
Okay. Yeah.
And
You appear as him, and
Yeah.
disheveled.
yeah, but like completely disheveled.
Yeah.
And then I simply want to leave my gear with Gerald. Look after that.
And he's like, you know what? Just for the fact that you're actually doing this, and he kind of goes like, doo, 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 like just makes a little tune. I couldn't think of anything. And he's like, dun 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 dun, and then like, you gotta do this, and it's like bardic inspiration.
You now have bardic inspiration for your graffiti.
This is how devoted I am to this. Our character talked about this. I have fully committed myself to this.
All right. I simply want to walk on up to the statue and climb it, and with my rubbing alcohol, I want to clean the mustache.
All right, you kind of climb up this statue. It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. There's just people stopping to watch you in your disheveled suit as this kind of noble that looks completely drunk is now on top of the statue in a suit, cleaning off the mustache with rubbing alcohol.
All right. And then once I'm done, I would like to try to draw a better mustache with my dipped ink.
Jarold, you kind of hear kind of like, is that Sir Jarold? No, not sorry. Is that Sir Francis?
Can I just round up the crowd and I think that it's actually him. I just saw him just while drinking and stuff like that. He just hounded a poor beggar. I think he's just gone completely mad.
Oh my God.
And he's like actively aggravating, like going like, I think it's him. Yes, it's him.
Sir Francis is cleaning the graffiti.
I know.
That's not so bad. He's restoring the statue to its.
Wait, what is he doing with that brush?
No. I'm erect. This is terrible vandalism. Let me show you how it's done.
And it's like, what is he doing with that brush?
And I want to try to paint on a better one.
All right. Make me a. What would this be? I don't know if this would be.
Would Well, it's art.
Is
Light
it art?
Light of
It's
hand?
drawing.
You know what? Yeah, let's do roll performance with bardic inspiration.
You have
All right.
1d6 plus to it.
Yeah, I will roll performance and get a 6.
Wait,
Nice.
roll another.
Yeah, I'll add a 2 to it to get an 8.
All right. I was like, wait, what's he doing now? Wait, Sir Francis is painting a new mustache. And you take your brush, you kind of dip it in this expensive ink. The original mustache was like a big bushy mustache with like it like came down like this. And you're like, I got this. And you're and you take several large oops, and one of the paint just goes all the way like across its cheek, and you're like, there are no mistakes, only happy accidents, and you paint the mustache all the way up. It looks like he has. You do such a terrible job. It looks like he has just a Joker smiley face made out of black ink. He's like, what it was like, good job, Sir Francis.
Can I just say, in my head, I am going like, man, not only have we ruined this man's career, we have also ruined any art career or any art critique for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I thought Sir Francis was an artist.
At least I know what I'm doing.
Of course. art is in the eye of the beholder.
No,
You
this is
get a couple
objectively
people
better.
clapping in the square around you.
I would make a show of drunkenly falling off the statue and standing back up and doing a deep bow.
Make me a general dexterity check.
Oh, I'm so happy. This is
A 10.
A 10. All right, so you're trying to just kind of like drunkenly fall off the statue, and you successfully do that. You start climbing down, you're like, oh, and you fall off, and you like hit yourself like on the back as you're like falling down the statue. You take.
How tall is that?
You take. Yes, this is like a 10-foot tall statue. You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as you successfully plummet from the face of the statue and land on the concrete ground. Actually, this is marble.
All right. Sprawled out. I'm just gonna cheer like, hey! Celebrating my wonderful achievement. Stand up, give that bow, and I will try to walk away and see if anything happens.
You try and walk away. There's some people kind of applauding you. Clearly, the commoners are familiar with your character and are used to being overly kind to him. No one follows you. No one bothers you. But you get kind of a couple bows as you kind of walk out through the crowd. Yeah.
All right, and I will attempt to see where like people no longer are paying too much attention to me, duck into an alley somewhere, and drop my disguise.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, no problem.
I'm just like, while like keeping his gear safe. Well, certainly is magnificent in one way. And looks at someone. Eye of the beholder. Beauty of the eye of the beholder. I don't know. Just kind of looking at this. Oh, I actually expected worse.
All right. Well, I think. Well,
you can now see there's. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go on.
You see, I think it'd be foolish to assume that Dragonborn would have the same kind of mustaches. I think this is like a creative expression of what they would be like with their unusual anatomy.
Very much.
It makes more sense. You see that it's elongated back with their snout-like facial features. So naturally, it has to be drawn back, yeah?
And as you said, it is like, yeah, now that I look at it, it kind of reminds me of the old jester in the circus. I think he did the exact same makeup.
It's clearly a mustache, not me.
Oh, sorry, yes, mustache,
Right.
mustache. And it's like, you know what? I owe you 10 gold. I will pay it as soon as I can. And I also feel
I
like...
thought it was now.
I said I'd owe you. Not that I would pay you right away. Just kind of look.
What a name.
I'm not wrong, am I?
No. No, you're not.
You did all this. But yeah, he's like, don't worry, I would. And he's like, don't worry. You're the only person I owe a debt to. I always pay my debts as soon as I can.
I don't trust you at all.
Well, no worries. I'll just prove it with my action. Plus, it's not like we're going to be apart anytime soon. At that point...
I've never met a man from the circus who wouldn't owe debts.
And he's just like, well, what can you do? But still, interesting style choice.
Now, about that drink.
Ah, yes. Let's go get that drink. I feel like like you deserve one.
Of course I do. Mind you, I did have a plan.
Oh, certainly. To follow the road. And he looks at the statue. Like going like looking at the spot where he fell.
You can see
Follow
when
the
you
road.
when you look at the spot, there's kind of a plaque at the bottom that says King Drathax Bright Tongue the Great, and someone has crossed out great to write gay.
Oh my god.
At this
Just
point,
the crudest bathroom graffiti.
we go to the other and we go to the Royal District later on in the game. It's gonna be like, remember that you're not alone. We're like, oh, I see. We're in the women's bathroom.
All right. I suppose we would try to find a proper tavern, but not the tavern.
Yeah, you immediately you're kind of going through downtown, just like right in the middle of everything. Just people everywhere. You can see from the outside. It just says the tavern right at the top, and this is like the tavern. You're sure that there's other taverns around here, but like right in the center of everything. The first thing that catches your eye is the tavern, and like from the outside, this doesn't really look like anything special, about as taverny as it gets. But the wood is relatively new, which makes it kind of stand out from the other constructions around here. It's difficult to see through the windows, as the glass is kind of morphed in a way that blurs the light coming through. But the laughter and cheering from within can be felt outside.
I just figured I have my state thing covered because I picked entertainer, so I got by popular demand. So I don't even have to pay for lodging.
Lucky you.
And
I don't intend to pay for mine either.
He's like, oh yes, talking about that, I wonder if we're going to find a tavern that's going to learn me to perform. That way, free lodging, free food. And he kind of looks at you. What are you going to do? With like a very
Well,
cocky grin.
That way, a free lodging, a free food.
What did you say?
Just repeated what you said.
Are you going to? Oh, we're both going to twist. And he's like,
In a way.
in a way. And it's like, okay, certainly. You will have to tell me how you're going to do that. That is going to be very interesting, and I would love to watch. Anyways, to the tavern. And like, note that he does
Not
like
say not
the tavern, another
the
tavern.
tavern.
Yeah.
Yes.
That name is very confusing.
And we sail on past the tavern.
All right, you guys walk past the tavern and continue walking downtown until you eventually come to a bit of a smaller tavern. This one, it has a bit of like a finer paint along the exterior. It's kind of like painted white, and there's like a red swallow on a sign kind of hanging down. And this tavern is called the Singing Swallow. And from outside, you can hear that this is not quite as populous of a tavern. It's probably a bit of a wealthier place, but you can hear music coming from inside. And although it's muffled,
looks
it's
much
pretty
better.
good.
And he's like, it would seem that I have competition.
Well, a battle of the bands is always the best of entertainment.
Certainly. The gloves are off.
All right, I can't wait to see this one.
I have nothing planned to sing though. That's the worst part. Generally, I prefer not.
All right. We enter the Singing Swallow.
Right, you guys kind of walk in through this like painted white door, and then like a little bell rings as you guys come in. It's like a pretty quaint little place. Kind of nice, kind of oak tables set up. There's like a small bar with a female behind it, currently pouring wine into a couple of the patrons' glasses. There's an elven minstrel up on kind of like this very small stage in the right corner of the room, playing with kind of like a smaller elven boy who is kind of strumming a lute, and she is singing, and it is very pleasant.
How are people reacting to it?
Everyone seems to be enjoying the music. I mean, this isn't, judging by the kind of the vibe, this isn't like a dance on the table type of tavern. It's more of like a kind of a relaxing type of music.
Mm-hmm. I need to reread because I don't know if I have skim. You can always find it usually in taverns, and it doesn't say that I have to ask to receive, but at the same time, I think I need to ask to actually receive the free lodging.
You should probably ask.
What are the kinds of customers like? What's the general feel inside in terms of the types that are present?
Yeah, so a lot of the taverns you've been in are very kind of like rowdy. There's like a lot of like bro type people in there. But this is a kind of very laid back environment. The people here appear to be not exactly in the mood for big parties. Relatively, well, more like a upper middle class.
All right. Jarold,
Yes.
did you have a plan in mind?
Certainly. Actually, certainly indeed. How would you to get 2 lodgings, 2 free meals, all in one?
All right, that sounds tempting, but the
What?
way you phrased that immediately fills me with hesitation.
Let me put it this way. If we manage to, well, steal the show, if you may, well, there's nothing stopping us from, charming the crowd to the point of, and he kind of like spins his arm, to, let's just say, discounts 100%.
I'm good, but I don't think I'm good enough to steal the player's instrument.
And he looks, wait, dude, oh dear me, you don't play any instruments?
Only heartstrings.
And he's like, well, it kind of. Well,
That's pretty
quick
smooth.
question: is the person behind the tavern and stuff like that a female or male?
She's the bartender is a female.
And he looks at him. Heartstrings, you say? All right.
I thought you had a plan.
Well, just doing as you said, following the road. And he's like, come on. And he's like, kind of drags him
To where?
towards the tavern maiden. Or like the person
bar?
in charge of the tavern.
Yeah, you
All right.
you drag Jaddir up to the bar. the
and
maiden kind of greets you with a smile and like, what can I get for you?
Well, all right then. As you can notice by my time and myself, I am a musical performer. Do notice that you currently have one, but to entice the crowd, well, the battle of instruments, if you may, me versus her, that would certainly, well, catch attention of many. And of course, since that is a delight, see, usually they have open, but seeing that it's, well, open stages for anyone to stand, and to sweeten the deal, I would like you to meet my friend. And he put Jaddir on the spot.
Hi.
Her eyebrow is currently
my name
raised,
is-
both in inquisitiveness and
Jaddir.
annoyance.
And I think Jaddir would just introduce himself and then turn to her like,
And he's like, go with the flow.
what flow? What do you want me to do?
Is there something I can do for you, boys?
And he's like, well, yes, I would like to perform, but to perform with said person on stage, to both require lodging and food. And of course, the performance will be long, and the battle of instruments shall be, well, memorable. Very memorable.
Roll persuasion.
I'm good at these! And then I roll a natural one.
She kind of looks at you and is like, Katrina
I
is... You didn't roll a natural one. Okay. That was a joke.
Completely
I thought you were serious.
No. I rolled an 11.
11. So she looks at you, and then she looks at your tiefling companion and back at you. And Katrina is a well-respected and often hired bard to play here. Now, I don't know what show you're trying to usurp, but this is not the place for a battle of the bands.
That's a shame. Usually catches quite the attention. That is a shame indeed.
My patrons are quite fond of Katrina.
Very well. And he kind of like looks around and goes like, what stage? Or is she playing for the entirety of...
Sorry, I missed that. What did you say?
Is she going to be on the stage for the... I do night shows as well.
I mean, that's the deal. When we close, she goes.
And he kind of looks at Jaddir. Well, Jaddir, what do you think?
Well, I think there's a lovely quality to her playing.
Oh, well,
I have
whether we're going to stay or not.
I have an idea in mind.
Oh?
This might not work, but it'll be interesting at the very least. And I kind of want to somewhat, I suppose, a little bit rudely, get a table sort of to the side of the singing and in a low voice start to suggest about narrating a story. And I'm going to take out my deck of cards and shuffle it and use it as a prop and pulling up cards to tell a story that would complement the song.
All right.
Wait,
to draw people's attention.
Just like in the middle, you're just gonna sit down in the middle of like the tables and start trying to get people's attention?
Yeah, to use her playing as a complement to to the cards, and the cards would tell the story.
Okay. She's currently singing about like a Viking lord.
Right, and what I kind of want to do is, I would first try to weave this story to complement that, but after some time, if I gather people's attention, I want to float the idea of having them try to bet on what's going to happen next.
Okay, roll performance to get people's attention to begin with.
14.
14. You get like a couple, like there's probably about like 20, 25 people in the tavern, and maybe like 5 or 6 of them gather around to listen to your tale.
Is it too late for me to assist?
To what? To assist?
To assist?
I mean, he's...
Action?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
How are you helping him?
And just kind of like going like, it kind of every time when he says something, he's like, and yes, like joining in, like kind of imagine a hype man almost, but like in a more delicate manner.
All right,
Like,
sure.
Come and hear the tale, stuff like that. Would that be performance or persuasion?
That would be perform. As long as the way I do help actions is you can only use the help action if you are proficient in what you're trying to help in. But since you are proficient in performance, you can definitely use the help action here. So you can roll with
much better.
No, that would just be I need Jaddir to roll with advantage.
Yeah.
I auto roll. It's already
Okay.
21.
So 21.
Okay.
Yeah, 21. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you probably get like 2/3 of the tavern gathered around your table. And it's like the more people that start coming by, the more people want to check it out. And so now you have like a fairly large audience around your table. People like fairly finely dressed, not like suits, but like people like in some nice clothing. Sipping their wine, enjoying the tales that you have to tell with your cards.
Right, and once I have this audience, I kind of want to start floating the idea of like betting on what's gonna be the outcome to start a pot.
This would be a persuasion roll.
Can I also help him with that and bardic inspiration him?
Do you need to be singing for
the
bardic
ultimate
inspiration?
wingman. Well,
I guess no. You don't need. You know what? I'll let you do it. With the support of your comrade behind you, kind of you feel like he is helping you turn the tides with his charisma and performance. So I'll let you take it in inspiration.
So this is persuasion with advantage, or just with bardic inspiration?
I think it's advantage and bardic inspiration.
Yep.
So yeah, he's very much like, come along, hear the story.
All right.
And you guys
in
kick
that case,
ass.
It is a 24.
Yeah, you guys have some crazy charisma powers between the two of you guys. You managed to like charm the entire group around. Like there's like 25 like wealthy tavern patrons around you, just like completely enraptured in your grand tales and like, oh, I know the maiden will die. I bet 3 gold on it. And so you get a pot going in the center of people betting for and against different things. Probably like 20 gold.
All right. And obviously it's not like I'm conning them. The house takes a cut, so to speak, from the bets.
Oh, of course.
Yes. But if I can influence the draws in a way that would be most beneficial for me, I would do so. These cards are marked, after all.
Yeah, I mean, this is your deck. You know what's up.
But yeah, I would love to do that.
Yeah, you can do that. You don't even need to roll for that because this is like your thing.
Oh, okay.
So
I would sort of. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, what are you gonna try and do? Like.
So I would sort of see if I can gather on like who is trying to bet for what, and then I know people are making bets, and I'm probably not the one keeping track of it. The sort of picture I have is Jarold's the one keeping track of it.
Yeah, Jarold's like, money here, money here.
Can I do one thing? Can I do one thing?
Yeah.
That's a bit dickish, just to help his odds. Well, not dickish. Dick to the patriot. I have a thing called enthralling performance. And I just need to perform for at least a minute. So
what are you performing?
While he's doing that, he's like kind of just like very softly, like kind of almost, yeah, as it says, reciting a poem. Actually, you know what? He'll be dancing around the pot. Like in a very like kind of like almost like a waltz, if you know.
All right.
Will the patrons know that they have been charmed after the effect ends?
If the target succeeds on its wisdom saving throw, that you tried to charm.
All right, I'll make a group wisdom saving throw for 25 patrons.
I have to choose. That's the thing.
Okay.
So up to the number of equal to your charisma modifier. So I have a charisma modifier of 3. So I would like to charm the barkeep. I would like to charm the person performing, and the wealthiest person the person that looks like the wealthiest place.
You see, Sir Francis is definitely the wealthiest person here.
Sir.
Oh, no.
he appears to be
We're
paying
gonna ruin
little attention to your story. He is currently pompously drinking a glass of very fine wine that he probably paid like 10 gold for.
Oh my god.
What's my spell DC? They need to succeed on trying to find it. DC. Sadly, it isn't that huge, but it is a 13.
Well, I'm sure Sir Francis probably has like a -2 to wisdom, so. Alright, Sir Francis rolls a 10. Barkeep rolls a 14.
She succeeds.
And Performer rolls a 17.
Okay, so only the rich guy is charmed.
Yeah. The other one I gave them +0 to wisdom.
Yeah.
I need to get my thing up high. But yeah.
Sir Francis, he kind of sets down his wine glass very slowly and looks at you
Yeah.
and stands
Target
up,
idolizes.
locking
Says-
eyes.
Yeah.
The target idolizes you?
Yeah, while charmed in this way, the target idolizes you. It speaks glowingly of you to anyone who talks to it, and it hinders anyone who opposes you. Although it avoids violence unless inclined to fight on your behalf.
Alright, so Sir
And it
Francis
lasts for an hour.
Sir Francis sets down his wine glass and stands up, looking directly at you, and walks over, and is like, "Make way, citizens!" And two people like, "Oh, Sir Francis," and two people like kind of scooch over, kind of scrunching like uncomfortably, against to make room for Sir Francis to sit down. Sir Francis, he sits down and he takes a napkin and he places it in his lap. He's like, "I must listen to this beautiful man do beautiful things. I bet 50 gold on whatever his friend is doing, because certainly if he is associated with this gentleman, it must be wondrous." I was like, "Sir Francis, I bet 3 gold that the maiden will. I bet 50 gold the maiden will die."
Oh my god.
And he takes out like he takes out like a bag and he opens it and he has kind of, you know, a platinum box that he opens out and he goes, "A 1, a 2, a 3," and he does that all the way to 50, and it takes like a solid minute. Everyone at the table is just dead silent, allowing Sir Francis to do his thing.
The best thing is, it doesn't say that they know that. So it's basically how it is worded is, no matter what I do, they don't know they have been charmed.
Yeah, go like have fun.
Yeah.
All right. And with this, I'm kind of like sidelong glancing Jared, like, the hell did you just do?
There's just a subtle like, bro wink back, like, "Got you covered, bro."
I think Jaddir would be incredibly impressed by this. Like, nice going, man. And would gladly just sort of fighting back the urge to smile widely, proceed with the performance. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to make sure that this works even better, the last inspiration, because we're going to sleep after this one, on him. So whatever role he has to do, he is bardic inspired.
Yeah, I mean you've successfully gotten everyone to enter into the game, so you don't need to roll again. But how I will say, how hard are you trying to push your house take of the bets?
Given that this was already much more successful than I thought it would be, and it's our first night here, and because it's Sir Francis and we've already fucked him over a little bit, I think I would ease back a little bit. Make it so that it isn't remembered as a terrible thing. More like it's
He won.
a pleasant. Yeah, so make sure that we have a fair cut, but we're not absolutely screwing people
Yeah.
out
Okay.
of, yeah.
Yeah, and at one point, Sir Francis is probably like, Serena, drinks all around, please, for the fine gentleman here. And like, Serena like comes in and pours like this expensive wine into like everyone's glass. People are getting like pretty wine drunk, pretty like giddy, and kind of like there's like a great mirth about the table, and you guys walk away. There's probably about a total of like 75 gold in the pot by the time the game is over. And I'll say you guys
Oh my God.
sneakily take a 10% cut. So that would put you guys at 7.5 gold. So that's 7 gold and 5 silver pieces for you, Jaddir. And nobody seems to have much of a problem with it.
Yeah. That was really exciting. But we don't get a rest. We don't free lodging, do we?
No, you don't.
Well, we got
Well,
something out of this place.
Surely we can pay for our stay for a little while with this. It's far better than I thought it would be.
Well,
That was quite amazing, actually.
I have done.
I need to do that again.
It's like, ooh, I can only do this certain amount of time. Let's not go crazy. on it.
Right, not tonight. Not tonight. I think they've mostly been boozed out anyway.
And he's like, well, yes, I was hoping to charm 2 more individuals. Had I charmed the bartender and the singer, we might have even gotten away with 50% of them. Just,
That's quite a lot there.
he's just like, what?
As a general rule, I do think to skim off the top,
Well, let me put it
if
this
that
way.
makes sense.
If she is charmed, she's going to do it willingly. I'm not going to ask
Oh,
her.
right, yes, I understand, but there's a difference between a penny here and a penny there, and robbing people blind.
Oh, not robbing them. They do it willingly. I never.
Are they?
And he's like,
Are they?
let me put it this way. They're paying for a good show. I gave them a good show.
That you did.
And you gave them a hell of a story. So, if anything,
It was quite good, wasn't it?
it was really good. So, if anything, we earned that money, and sadly, we couldn't get a bit more because, well, certainly someone, like hints at the bartender, wasn't too enthralled with my dancing, but, well, you can't win them all.
I think we would approach the barkeep, ask for a night stay, as well as if there's anything that we should know about Barad Baisa, or as long as sort of sidelong ask about also crazy ragged men.
Okay, so you
demonologist, but on the fly. Yeah.
you approached the barmaid, and she's like, what are you asking her specifically? Like just like general.
Should I ask her, being that I'm like the guy?
Yeah, I think Jaddir would be pushing Jarold along because this is sort of more his thing anyway.
He's like, yes. Before I forget, hello, guy. It's me again.
Quite the
Still don't
performance.
know your name.
Serena.
Well, it would have been better. But yeah. Serena is it? Jarold.
Pleasure to meet
Yes.
you, Jarold.
So, it's pleasure's all mine. I have a question about the price for rooms, and then a secondary question that is a bit personal for the two of us. AKA, we're looking for someone.
Well, it's 5 silver for the night.
Wonderful. You know what? He puts 1 gold, so he's paying for him and Jaddir. I really need to memorize the name. Jaddir. Jaddir.
Just yeah, it's Jaddir. You can just like hover over his thing.
I know, but I'm like in another tab because I only have one screen.
Just okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like trying to memorize it, but I was like, but yeah. So I'm paying for both our rooms.
Like great.
All right.
So and yet, the person we're looking for. So we were told, well, I was told about some man that has a couple of things that we would need to know, and well, we'd really like to have like a meeting with him. He is according to description, and he gives like a basic description, which is like not gonna help huge amount, but yeah. But he is a bit on the well, he's a bit unstable, but we really need to talk to him. And we are trying to find him just to have a conversation with him. And, well, yeah, that's honestly it. And after that, we might be touristing for a bit, and then we're basically gone.
So she's kind of like getting down beneath the counter to grab your room keys as she's saying this. She's like, oh, you're going to need to be a bit more descriptive than that. If you're looking for some crazy old man, I'm not sure that can help you. Do you have a name, perhaps?
Yes, I do have a name, and
That would have probably been helpful.
I need to find the name. The man name is Francesca Ilevit Budal.
Oh, Lieutenant Bodul?
Yeah, Ilevit Budul. Badul. It's the accent, I can't do it. But anyways, yes, that is him.
Sure. Most people know about Lieutenant Bodul. Seems surprised that you would describe him as a crazy old man. I mean, he is elderly, but he's a fine individual. He takes very good care of the town. He's overseeing a lot of the construction of the statue to Lawrence, King Audemars.
That is very confusing. The information notes that I've never met was that he was apparently some crazy old man that didn't like to meet people.
Huh. Well, if you're looking for Francesca Bodul, he's not a crazy old man.
That's actually excellent.
Is that a common name?
I mean, I don't think I've met too many people named Francesca.
Sorry, I'm new to this area.
I can tell.
No.
I haven't seen a tiefling around here in ever, really.
Ever?
But yeah.
Interesting.
But anyways, that is a lovely piece of information. Would you know where he stays or where he by any chance?
I mean, you can usually find him constructing the statue in the park.
Lovely. And where would said park be?
Oh, it's if you just continue forward down the main street, you'll get there anyway. It's the intersection between the hill and the upper ring, as well as downtown. It's impossible to miss.
And at this point, he like kind of looks at Jaddir, and he's like, "Well, finally, some good news, right?" And
I have a direction. Quick question: should we be interested in things of more occult nature? Where could we find someone to talk to about that?
I'd be the last person
Purely out
you'd
of
want to talk to about
academic
that.
curiosity.
She's like, I'd be the last person you'd want to talk to about things of the occult. You're in the wrong part of town.
Of course. Of course. I didn't mean to insinuate. That's why I was asking if you knew anybody who would be a better person to talk to about things of that nature.
at this point, he kind of looks at Jaddir like, "Person."
I honestly have no idea. I think you're in the wrong place.
Well, you see, I just adore tales, like telling stories, and occult mysteries make for the best stories.
She kind of shrugs. It's like,
Okay.
perhaps the library?
And where could we find that?
Well, I mean, you would need to be admitted as a student into the academy, and judging by your age, I'd say you're past high school.
All right, fair point. Do they not accept people on perhaps a donation basis where we could peruse for a bit?
Oh, I'm sure you could get in. Doesn't seem all that difficult. For a man of your
All right.
charisma. I mean, you certainly managed to attract the attention of Sir Francis, and if you can get through to him, I'm sure you can get through to just about anyone. Just kind of like laughing to herself as she starts like cleaning flasks and stuff.
He's like, look at that!
all
You
right.
certainly have the magical touch, Jaddir. I'm very glad that I am on this trip with you. Yes, he's giving Jaddir all the credit.
I think Jaddir is like a little bit weirded out by this. We're like, oh, all right, all right. Well, we can stay the night. We have a direction. Is there anything else you want to take care of tonight?
Well, we do have. Well, we've had our drink. The bet has been semi-settled. I still have to pay. How much? Yeah, I still owe you technically 10.
Don't
So-
worry, Sir Francis
Well,
paid
I've
for
got-
your drinks tonight.
Oh, I'm talking about. We made a little bet, and I owe him.
Ah,
Yeah. So,
Yes, you owe me 15 silver.
15 silver. Oh,
Yes?
oh yeah, the room. Oh yeah, certainly.
No. You. The gatherings from tonight,
Ah,
plus the room.
oh well, we'll slowly fill in that debt.
That's actually 2 gold. Yes, 2 gold.
And it's like, how much did you buy?
No, you owe me 2 gold.
Oh, 2 gold. Okay, you are very inconsistent. How much did you have to drink?
I'm used to paying for better lodgings.
And it's just like, all right, I think, seeing my friend here, I think we're going to call it an evening.
well, here's your key.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful night.
It's like, thank you. It was wonderful meeting you. And, yes, we will see you in the morning. Or whoever is taking your shift.
I'll be here.
All right.
She gives you a kind of friendly wave goodbye.